It's only in Italy. It's a floating bar right there. That's Ostuni over my left shoulder there, the old town. All this fresh pasta, Puglia's famous orecchiette.
Viva l'America.
And you ate so much and the service was over the top.
Welcome to Puglia, Italy, where ancient traditions and breathtaking beauty intertwine. Join me as we discover the lands between the stunning turquoise waters and pristine beaches to the dazzling white buildings of Ostuni. In this video, in this region in the heel of Italy's boot, we'll travel from Bari through the olive groves and wine vineyards until we reach the warm and welcoming waters. We'll lose ourselves in the vibrant markets and of course indulge in the region's culinary delights, from fresh pasta being cooked in small alleyways, cliffside dining, and popping open a beer along the kilometers of coastline that make Puglia famous. There's so much to take in. The famous cone-shaped homes known as Trulli, the 800 kilometers of coastline wrapped by the Mediterranean Sea, the cliffs of Polignano, and we'll even spend some time exploring Puglia's wine production and nipping over to neighboring region Basilicata to visit its famous Sassia Matera. Are you ready? Because Puglia is a sun-soaked paradise that will steal your heart and leave you yearning for more.
Welcome to Puglia. If you only have 1 week in this region in Italy, then this is your guide. Now let's talk about the basics. Puglia, it's a great region to come and vacation. Another great region is Sicily, the island off the toe of Italy's boot. Well, Puglia is down in the heel of Italy's boot, this long region down there, and there are many great places to come and visit. For this vacation, we're in Cisternino, a little town that's near Ostuni. It's near Bari, it's near Brindisi. You can get flights to Bari and Brindisi. You can take a train down from Milan if you're already in Italy. But if you're not in Italy, I recommend a flight or a drive if you're gonna stay down here for a long time in Italy. Now that's what we did. We drove down here. We're staying in this great villa here, Villa Rodrigo. We found it from Relax Puglia. It's an agency that rents different villas in this area. The price I think we paid for 10 days is around 1,800 to 2,000 euro. It's a 2-bedroom place that we're staying in, and it has a kitchen. Of course, it has a pool. We've been enjoying this every day, and when we come back from the beach, we jump in the pool, cool off, and it has a lot of land out there. All these olive trees. We have tables everywhere for lunch. We can have dinner out here in the evening. Over there, we have the barbecue. We have another table out that way, the veranda, the swimming pool. It's amazing. But today we're gonna head out of here and head to the beach. Now let's talk beaches, because in Puglia it's all about the coastline. You got the east coast out there on the Adriatic side, and you have the west coast here. It's a bit calmer, the water here on the Ionia Ocean side. I think it's Ionia. I'll have to put the name down there. I always forget the name of this body of water. But it's much more calmer, and you can see it out there. Now on the first day, we went to the ocean side near our place in Cisternino. Went out to the east side, got a place, I think it was Verde Beach, Green Beach is what it was called. We had an umbrella, put that up there, hung out there for a few hours on one of the free public beaches. That was pretty nice. There were some more waves there. We really enjoyed it, dipping in and out of the water. On the next day though, we decided to go to the west side of Puglia, out here to this body of water, and found this place called Togo Bay. It's a pretty cool place, a great vibe, good music, good people. Now, if you never beach vacationed in Italy, well, there are not many free public beaches. A lot of them are these places that are private, and you have to rent out a bed for the day. And it varies in price what you pay. You also have to pay to use the showers. You have to pay to play. Here, we paid 50 euro for 2 beds and an umbrella and a big table between them where we could have lunch. 50 euro for the day. That was on our first visit. We were on the second row. The next visit today is our last day in Puglia, and we went for the front row because that was all that was available with the big table. 65 euro for the day, but it was kind of worth splashing out. In fact, we enjoyed it so much on that first trip, we decided to come back here to Togo Bay on our last day. Now, there's another place you might want to check out. We spent the day there in Taiga Beach. A little less money, 35 euro for 2 beds and an umbrella for the day, but the lunch cost you more there, and the vibe wasn't as good as in Togo Bay. So You make the decision. I'll put the addresses and names of those places down in the description below so you can check that out. This is July, so the rates will vary. When we get into August, the really high season, the rates could be a little bit higher. On the flip side, if you come in June, expect to pay less and expect to see less people out here. But really, you got to get out here in Puglia. When you're in Puglia, it's all about the ocean, all about the seaside. Okay, let's talk about some other places you want to go, day trips in Puglia. Now, the other day we took a trip to Alberobello, and that's basically the city of Trulli. And if you don't know what a trullo is, or Trulli, it's a cone-shaped house. That's a trullo. More than one cone-shaped house, Trulli. So these houses, they dot the landscape in Puglia, and they're so concentrated in one area. The sun's just beating off of these Trullis, the white walls, but it's spectacular. Check it out here in Puglia. These are the Trulli, the famous Trulli. Now I might have picked the wrong day in August. It's noon and it's very hot, so the sun's just beating off of these Trullis, the white walls, but it's spectacular. UNESCO town. You got to come down in the south of Puglia. This is the place to be because these Trulli were once built, I think around the 19th century is what they say. They were built as shelters, some say to avoid taxation on property, but now they've become just a place of tourism. Recognized like the Great Wall of China, recognized like the Eiffel Tower in Paris, here in the south of Italy. So you can spend all day walking around these cone-shaped buildings, and some of the people will let you come inside to see how they lived back in the day. And of course there are tourist shops everywhere. There's some restaurants. You can also book a hotel in here. You should do that because it's worth spending more than just a few hours here. You should spend overnight here, see the sunset, see the sunrise, not come in midday as I'm doing on this trip. So hot, so white, cone-shaped buildings everywhere. So many Instagram photos to take around this area. This is in Puglia, the heel of Italy, the southern part of Italy. Down here you can take a flight to Bari and easily get here, rent a car. I recommend Alberobello. All these cone-shaped buildings, you see them all around Puglia, but here they're concentrated. A lot of these buildings here, so you can check them all out. What's really cool about all these cities, there's so much coastline, so when you're hot, you're tired at the end of the day, you can head to the coastline, dip into the ocean and get some seafood, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. These Trulli houses, you need to go to Alberobello and just explore the old city. So we took a walk around, I flew the drone, got some great photos, and then we got out of there down to the seaside to grab some lunch. My advice to any of these towns, if you're down here during the months of July or August, is to go in the late evening. Check them out when the sun's going down, right before the sun goes down, when the temperature is a bit lower. Now another place I suggest you put on your list is, look at that guy right there, he's wanting to be in the video, is Ostuni. It's a cool old city near Cisterno, and so it's a short drive to Ostuni, and we're able to hang out there, see the town. And there we made the smart move by going around dinner time. We got there about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, explored a little bit of the city, and then we went right to dinner, had a great dinner with a view of the countryside out to the ocean. Beautiful from this hilltop town of Ostuni, and it's amazing. It's one of those places where we should have spent a couple of hours exploring before dinner, but we got there kind of late, so we had to limit our exploration time and go right to dinner. But we're definitely gonna want to put Ostuni on your checklist. Now let's talk about a place to go when you want to cool off. Castellana Grotte is 3 stories underground. This huge underground space, all these rock formations. It's pretty spectacular, and it's something different than here at the coastline. It gives you another look at Puglia underground, and it's cool and crisp, around 10 to 15 degrees Celsius down there. You can spend about an hour and a half, and I think we paid €15 for our tickets. You do a tour down there. Another place you want to go, Polignano. Check it out, put it on your list. There's a famous singer there who comes from that location, and I can't sing, but he has this song called Volare. There's a huge statue to him up there. Don't laugh, I can't sing. There's a huge statue up there to him, And the first time we went to Polignano, we went to this restaurant called Grotta Palace. Now, it's a beautiful location above this grotta, as the name suggests, but has this beautiful view, and we had dinner there next to the big cliffs, the big drop-offs, the ocean. Beautiful place to have dinner. The fixed menu, the only menu you could have, was $190 per person. Now, I've been to some expensive Michelin star restaurants that were less expensive than that. This isn't a Michelin restaurant, and the food and the service was not up to standard for when you're paying $190. There, you're essentially paying for the view, so go there with that in mind and go there with your camera, because you're gonna want to take plenty of photographs and plenty of videos from up there to make it worth your money. But when we were setting up there, we saw these boats down in the ocean looking at the cliffs, and we said we gotta come back here on another day to take a boat trip and explore all those cliffs and everything that's famous about Polignano by boat. And we did that on another day. We found this local guide, Marco, and I'm gonna put the link down below to Marco's Instagram so you can check him out. Polignano's tasting better already. You guys didn't think I'd come all the way down to Puglia without taking you out on a boat trip. We're in Polignano, and this is the coast here with Marco out in his boat. He's taking us all around up and down the coast. I'm hoping for a dip in the water as well, and to get the drone up. It should be fabulous. Over there we had dinner the other night. We saw all these boats going around. We thought, hey, we got to get on the boat, see Polignano from a different angle, and that's what we're doing today. And this should be amazing. Can't wait to get into it and get into the water and swim in some of this area here. Grotta of the Lovers Grotta, Grotta di Innamorati. And there you can see the reflection of a heart. Only during certain hours of the day, I think we saw a broken heart there on the water. And you just squeeze in here with the boat. It's cool, especially on a hot day like it is today. Especially, you don't see anything like this anywhere else in the world. Check out this, only in Italy. It's a floating bar right there. The guy's we brought out some beers, but we didn't bring a beer opener, and the guy's kind enough to open up our beers for us, so here we go. Everybody's happy, everybody's drinking beer. Got the opener right here, here we go. Now we're ready. Polignano's tasting better already. Nastro Azzurro, I expected, what's the beer down here? Peroni. I expected Peroni.
Oh, Bari.
Well, that's it. What an adventure. If you come to Puglia, this is a must-do. Head out to Polignano, get on a boat. Now, one place I'll recommend is to check out Marco, Mare e Sol. He's got about, you can go on a private one like we did today, €200 for 2 hours, and it's well worth it because you're seeing all those grotte back there. I put up the drone, so you're gonna see a lot of good shots of that. I almost lost it, it scared me. The return to home point was in the middle of the water out there in front of those famous grotte. Look, we're coming into the port here. Fantastic opportunity here in Puglia. Ocean everywhere, the water is great. You dip in, you cool off. Check it out, and this is Puglia, and this is Puglia on a boat. We did a 2-hour exclusive private trip for €200. Now that may sound like a lot. Hold on a second. Whew. Cooling off. That may sound like a lot, but 2 hours for €200, it's pretty cool. He was on an all-electric, solar-powered boat. No sound, no smell of motor, and you're just cruising out there along the seaside. You see all the cliffs, all the grotte that makes Polignano famous. And I put my drone up for the first time out on the ocean. Got some great views of the cliffs, spent 2 hours out there, got some sun on the boat. He included the beers and water in the price. Also gives you that view of Polignano you're gonna want. If you're gonna spend time in Puglia, if you're gonna go to Polignano, get on a boat and check it out by boat. Don't spend your money on Grotta Palace. It's not worth it. Now, before I get to the last place I want to talk about in my Puglia to-do list, I want to show you that. That's Ostuni over my left shoulder there, the old town. La Città Bianca. Tonight we're eating here, Opera Prima, a great place. I hope we're still waiting on our food. It should be pretty good. So I'm gonna walk you over here and talk about this last place you gotta see when you're in Puglia. This should be on your to-do list, trust me. It's not technically Puglia. In fact, it's over the border into the other region of Basilicata, and that's that region that's in the arch of Italy's boot. It's in Basilicata, and it's called, and you probably know already, it's called Matera, the Città di Sassi. This is Ostuni, the Città di Bianca. Matera is the Città dei Sassi. Matera is the Città dei Sassi, and it's amazing. It's a little town that's basically carved out of rock, carved out of stone. It's one of the oldest continually inhabited towns in the world. And another one of those towns is Jericho in Palestine. I visited there before. It's a cool place to see. But if you're in Puglia, if you're in a town like Ostuni or Cisterno, you gotta go to Matera. Drive, I think it's about 1 hour, hour and a half. We did a trip, we went there, we arrived around 6 o'clock. Want to see something cool? And you see all these houses carved in stone. This is Matera. Here it is, we're in the Città di Sassi, the city of stones, and it's a UNESCO city, and it's just near the region of Puglia. We're in the region of Basilicata, so if you're in the region of Puglia and you have some time, come over the border here into Basilicata and see Matera. So tonight, I'm only here for a couple of hours. I'm gonna give you a little tour of the city, then we're gonna go to a restaurant. I think it's a pretty good place with a terrace and a view of this city. We're gonna walk through the streets and just get an idea of what this city's like. Matera, let's go. So just to give you an idea, I've been to Matera twice before. This is my third trip, and the other 2 times it was with the Giro d'Italia, and you're always so fortunate you can actually drive your car down on these roads. And this trip we parked out in the side of the city, and you can easily walk down into the valley here and walk up. Now Matera, it's a film set for a few different films. I think Mel Gibson's Last Temptation of Christ was filmed here, and they use it because it looks like Jerusalem. It looks like the holy city in Israel. Now this is one of the 3 oldest cities in the world, continually inhabited cities in the world. Città di Sassi, the city of stones. I think it's been inhabited for around 9,000 years. The sun is going down. We saw a beautiful sunset. Right up there is the church. Right up there, it's a great spot to get a sunset. If you come down these stairs right here, you can also get the sunset. And I remember last time I was here for the Giro d'Italia, we filmed a little piece to camera right there, shooting out over this valley, and you see all these houses carved in stone. Now, if you have the time, you're gonna stay overnight. For a few nights, you can get a hotel in these sassis in the rocks. You can also dine in the rocks. The hotels, restaurants are carved out in these stones. We have a dinner reservation tonight with a terrace setting, a view of the city. Now you're in for a surprise because we're at an excellent restaurant, Michelin. I think it's in the Michelin guide, maybe has a Michelin star. You have to look it up. Dimora Uomo. Look at that. Beautiful terrace and a view. They promise us an excellent dinner tonight. And really with this view, you can't complain. So just looking around in the guides, you can find some great restaurants like this, local food from Matera. I'm hungry. I'm gonna sit down at the table, get ordering on this food. I think I'm gonna go with the fixed menu. I think that's all they have here is the fixed menu. So time to get into it. Let's eat. Oh, I think I ate too much, to be honest, back there. Look at this place. It's also magical at night. It's amazing, Matera. You gotta explore up and down all of these stairs. Get a good dinner in. That's what you need to do when you're here in Matera. Remember, if you're I'm now switching to my phone because this guy, the Canon G7X, the battery died. I should have brought an extra battery pack with me. We just had an excellent dinner at that place. I'll put the link down in the description below so you can check that out. We're in Puglia for this trip near Ostuni, and so it's a quick trip here to Matera to see this wonderful Città dei Sassi in the daytime, in the nighttime. It's a cool place to check out. Now where am I going? Hey ladies, heading back up. We have about a 1 hour and a half drive to get home. That's been my short trip here to Matera. A good dinner, a good walk around this historical Città dei Sassi. What a trip. I'm out of breath. Had time to walk around the town, and then we went to this Michelin restaurant. It's on the Michelin guide. It's called Dimora Uomo, and it's Oh, amazing. They have places out on the terrace overlooking part of the old city, served course after course after course. Now, earlier in this video, I talked about Grotto Palace. That place was 190 for the fixed menu. You compare that to Dimora Olmo, I think it was €90. We had the middle of the range menu, and you ate so much better, and the service was over the top. You gotta go in Matera, you go dipping down and you walk through all the old streets, and then you climb back up to the main church there, and you'll see my drone shots. I'll put the drone shots there because it shows the old city and it's just amazing. And that really capped off the whole trip for me. A nice evening trip to Matera. It's gotta be on your list when you're in Puglia, though technically not in Puglia, it's gotta be on your list.
Just to interrupt this video for 1 second to let you know about the Italy Insider e-guide that I put out, so you can download it, have it in your pocket offline when you're traveling around this country. Everything you need to know about getting to and from Italy, hotels, Airbnbs, things like carrying cash, and how you're gonna connect to the internet. There's a link to download it in the description below.
Viva l'America!
And now, here, look at this. Oh, making magic. You throw this pasta in a little bit of boiling water, and after about 3 minutes, you have magic.
Si possono condire con le verdure, col pomodoro, con olio e parmigiano. Come la vuoi fare? L'orecchietta è sempre buona. Buon appetito!
Today we're in Puglia, Bari, and we're going to this famous spot where the lady makes the famous orecchiette pasta. She's been doing it for thousands of years. It's appeared in these Dolce & Gabbana advertisements, and we're gonna watch her firsthand with her hands make the pasta. But first, we're getting a little coffee here and some Pugliese desserts or morning treats, whatever they are. It's gonna make me super fat.
Pasticciota al cioccolato. It's warm too. This is delicious. With a cappuccino, it's the perfect way to start your day in Bari. Okay, we're done. Now it's time to go. Look at this cool Lamborghini, Italian Lamborghini, but with German license plate. Cool, I like it. This is it on this little small side street here. Look at this, all this fresh pasta and Puglia's famous orecchiette. Nunzia.
Viva l'America!
Here, look at this. Oh, making magic. You throw this pasta in a little bit of boiling water, and after about 3 minutes, you have magic. You got that sugo right in there, the sauce. Oh.
Qui in Puglia si mangia tanto, è tutto buono.
So just getting the lowdown here. These are the fresh ones. She's just making them. They still need to dry. These here are made with a grain, a bruciato grain, so a grain that's been burnt. Over there you see some integrales. They're made with grains, a different type of pasta instead of the white ones we see here. Tricolore, like the flag of Italy.
Si possono condire con le verdure, col pomodoro, col pesto, con olio e parmigiano. Come la vuoi fare? L'orecchietta è sempre buona. Buon appetito!
So we got all this goodness here for €10. She threw in these treats here. Oh, here, she's got the change coming in. €10, that's it. I don't know if I'm gonna put it in my, if I can fit it in my luggage. This, just €3, I think, €2 for a bag like this. Can't wait to get it home and make some pasta, but I think the best thing we could do right now is go find a restaurant where they're cooking up this orecchiette and just eat it fresh. We're here in Puglia, why not? She's invited us inside her place. We're gonna dive in here and get some of the pasta made fresh.
O manzo cavallino, mettiamo a fare, nell'interno c'è pepe, sale, prezzemolo e formaggio.
Manzo del cavallino.
Cavallino oppure manzo.
Horse
Due
meat.
tipi di animali. Ma il ragù...
Manzo, which is cow, or cavallino, which is
Che odore.
horse. This is the manzo. I have a new friend in Puglia.
Bravo, bella la Puglia, venite americani.
Now, to be honest, anywhere on these side streets you found lots of people selling fresh pasta. It's not just the great Nuncia. I recommend you go to Nuncia, but many of these vendors are everywhere in Bari, in Puglia, so check them out. Go around, assaggiare, taste everything. You're gonna enjoy it. Look at that, making magic, 95 years old. This polenta in the boiling hot oil is gonna come out. Tasty. I'm gonna burn my tongue on this. Now polenta is basically a cornmeal dish. This stuff was fried up in oil. Tastes really good. It's still hot too. Oh, you shouldn't do that in coronavirus times. Shouldn't lick your fingers. An update here. She's only 90 years old, not 95. Another coffee. Okay, no orecchiette today. I just had that little tasting over there from Nunzia, but this guy has everything in here. It's a little delicatessen. We're getting some sandwiches. The guy's making them now. I'm hungry. Now we're going to the beach. We got some treats here, beer, a couple of sandwiches. Gonna get a little bit of sun. It's warm down here in Puglia, so why not? Get some beach time. Enjoy these sandwiches. And I hear it's quite nice down there at the beach. I'm gonna get the drone out.
Now turn left. Please make a U-turn if possible. Please turn right in 100 meters and then turn left.
Driving in Italy is crazy. Driving in southern Italy, well, that's an art. It's over the top. Look at this place, it's great. The waters look crystal blue. Slightly cloudy today. I bet the water's kind of cold, but it's gonna be great down there with a beer and a couple sandwiches. Remember, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and make sure to hit that subscribe button right down there below. What a perfect way to end the day. We're right here near Monopoly. I'll put all the links to these locations down in the description below. And it's amazing, hardly anyone's out here, just a few people on the beach. We have it all to ourselves, enjoying a beer, a sandwich, and soon we're gonna get the sunset as well. So highly recommended. This is the first red I'm trying, the Liante. Good blend, the Maru 100% Negro Amaro grape. Now when wine tasting, you always gotta have your nibbles, little food in your belly, so that way between each sip of wine, cleansing the palate, and you're not getting too drunk. Now you guys are in for a treat today because in this unassuming place, just about 30 minutes from Bari in Puglia, is the Cantina di Cirufo. I think I'm pronouncing it wrongly, but you'll check it out soon. We're gonna go wine tasting today. I'm gonna take you to 3 different places to taste wine in Puglia and just have a good time, because why not? When you're down here in Puglia, they make some excellent wines, and this is one of the spots right here. Look, I'm lucky to be in here today, and we're gonna get busy. We're starting off easy with the rosé, or we'll check it out right here. Moving on to Nero di Troia. Now this cooperative here works with 400 different wine producers in the region of Puglia. We're tasting them all today. Now it's time for Primitivo. This thing is 14% and it's a pretty strong one, especially as I'm here tasting it before lunch. Luckily they've given us little nibbles to eat. This place is fantastic. It's low key, but they give you a great description of what all these wines are. The Primitivo, the Nero di Troia, and of course that Rosato, delicious. Now we're getting a handle on this bottle here. It's 1.2 kilograms. It's a heavy bottle, but it's an important bottle, and they also have an important wine cork for it. The whole thing's special. This is the Riserva. Okay, now we're on to the next wine tasting, the second of 3 locations today. Always here in Puglia, always around Bari, and I'll put the map locations to all these vineyards and all these places to taste wine down in the description below, so check them out.
The expected drive time is 1 hour and 1 minute.
After all that wine, I needed a quick coffee. Now I'm good to go. The last place produces around 30 million bottles a year. This place produces around maybe 300,000 bottles a year. So much smaller place, and it's said to have the best Primitivo in Puglia. And we're gonna get to the heart of that matter soon. We're gonna taste our way through it. Now you probably can't see here, but this truck is loaded with grapes, and over there they're processing them. You see the big vats there. This is where all the magic happens. Smaller place, so we're getting a much better look of how the whole process happens here. This is all the stuff that goes into making wine, the back scenes, and over here we're gonna get to the tasting. We get a better understanding of how it all comes into place for this Primitivo. Now we're here at the winery Polvinera. They have the best Primitivo.
rosé and red wines.
Starting off with this rosé Primitivo here, nice and light. It's only 12 degrees, so sort of heavy actually.
First white of the day. This is a very small grape around here. How many hectares? 150 hectaacres. You have to do the translation into acres, what that is. This, I was wrong before, this place produces around 1 million bottles a year of wine. He's gonna correct me if I'm wrong. He nods yes, I'm right. It's light and easy. But again, 12 degrees of alcohol, 12% alcohol.
Okay, this is that orange wine. It's made with the Verdecca grapes. To be honest, it's not the one I prefer. I'm waiting for the reds.
Here they are. Soon, these are gonna be in the glass and be in my mouth. I'm gonna try these guys out. 14%,
100% Primitivo. Oh. Now this is the Polvinera 16, the Sedici. We're just getting told that this is the most indicative of what the vineyard produces. All their wines are high in alcohol. This one is smooth, so you can continue to drink it. But at 16 degrees, 16% alcohol. This is the last one, number 17, and it's aged for 2 years in the stainless steel containers there. Then about a year in the bottle, a year or two in the bottles. 17, that means 17% alcohol, it's strong. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the mother lode. Look at this. This is the cave where they have all the good wines down there. They're all aging down there. You got them here, these big magnums. Oh, look at the dust. You know it's good when it's got that dust on top of it. We're getting down here, Johnny's explaining it all. And down there they have their first bottle ever produced. When was your first bottle produced? 2005. 2005, and they got it right down there. Johnny, we're gonna open it and drink it?
Yeah. Of course.
There it is.
17% of alcohol.
2005. You can smell the dust, the mildew down here, but this is where wine ages and becomes the best. So we got some wine to take home with us. This should do 4 bottles of the good stuff. Well, there's been an update. We're gonna have to save that third wine tasting for tomorrow morning. We just arrived here at the Castello Monaci. You're gonna love this place. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna wake up here and do some wine tasting. Tonight, we're gonna crash here. We're gonna have a nice evening meal and probably have some wine with that as well. But look at this place, it's amazing. I wish we would've gotten here just a little bit sooner to get the sunset photos, but oh. There must be some event tonight. I hear some music over there. We found ourselves in the middle of an Italian wedding. Look at all the food. Maybe I should be a wedding crasher. All right, we have our own private dinner up this way in this amazing castle. We're gonna dive into some of this food now. No wedding crashing for me tonight. All right, so we went with the wine pairing menu, 70 euros here at the castle, and that's a good bargain. Every plate has its own wine that comes with it. So they're gonna bring us one plate after another, each with its own glass of wine. It's a marathon of a dinner and it's beginning now. Had some time to reflect on that dinner last night. Great dinner, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. The surroundings, spectacular, really loved the location inside that castle. However, I thought the plates were too large. They could have done smaller little individual plates, and there was no explanations on the wines that were served with each plate, and no explanations of the food themselves. The waiter just didn't seem to be into his job that night. Maybe it was an off night for him. We can excuse him for that. So those are the only negative points to an otherwise great dinner. Now, after I get out of bed, we're gonna go do that wine tasting, that third of 3 wine tasting. A quick note on visiting Puglia, just like anywhere in the world, if you go in off season, you're gonna get the better bargains. And that's what we did here. We're in the second week of October. Typically in these areas of Italy, July, August, those are the peak seasons. There are gonna be many tourists and the prices are gonna be higher. Come down here in the off season, in the spring, or as we're doing here after the summer, the prices are lower, there are less people, and
and you're gonna have a great time.
Look at this magical place right here. These are the grounds of the Castello. And this morning, before we get into that wine tasting, we're gonna get into that third and final wine tasting. I promise we're gonna get there. We're getting a little tour of this castle and the surroundings to understand a little bit of its history and how the wine production came here to Bari, to this little region in Puglia. Marco's brought us up here to the top of the cantina so we can get a good look at all the vineyards back here behind me. 500 acres of vineyards. They produce all the local wines here, and around 3 million bottles a year come from Castello Monaci. Oh, I'm loving it already. You can smell the wine coming together down here. All these liters and liters. They will go into the bottles and they will be on the wine on your table. Now we're gonna go downstairs and see the barrels where all the good red wines are aged and they come to life just down this way. This is the magical place right here. Red lights, red wine, wooden barrels, all that stuff that makes the magical Castello Monaci wine. And we're gonna taste it soon. Marco, we're gonna taste the wine soon? All right, we're gonna get on to the wine tasting. This is the first red. I'm trying the Liante. Now, it's a mix of their vineyards from the Negro Amaro to the Malvasia vineyards. Good blend. The Maru 100% Negro Amaro grapes. I'm liking this one better than the Liante. Now, when wine tasting, you always gotta have your nibbles, and they have them here. A little food in your belly, so that way between each sip of wine, cleansing the palate, and you're not getting too drunk. Okay, I'm heading back in there, just out there shooting some thumbnails for this video. Now, if I had to rank these 3 vineyards I've been to, number 1 would be this place because you could taste wine, you can sleep here on the premises, and it's a cool place to sleep, and the area is so beautiful. Number 2 would be that second vineyard we'd visited because it's a family-run operation. You get the real sense of how they made it. You see all the love they put into their wines. And number 3 would be the first one, the cooperative, because it's more of a business and it doesn't have that kind of Italian wine sensation that you want when you're out wine tasting, but still, it's good wine. Now let's get back into the tasting. I'm on to the Primitivo now. It's 14% alcohol, good tasting, but I know what I'm waiting for. It's the Aiace, the Reserva. Now this is 2 years in the barrel. And like the Liante, it's 25% Malvasia and another 75% Negro Amaro grapes. Tastes pretty good. Now that's it, that's all the wine tasting. We hit 1, 2, 3 vineyards and tasted some great wine out there. I'm gonna put all the links to all 3 of those vineyards down in the description below so you can check those vineyards out. Do some wine tastings when you're down here in the Bari area. It's very simple and very easy to do. And these vineyards are happy to have you, especially in the off season when they don't have many guests and the prices are low. It's the excellent time to come and visit. Now you probably shouldn't do that, but we just stopped the car and got a few grapes. Here they are right here, Primitivo grapes, I can just assume, but it's after the harvest and these are the grapes that have remained. Don't get caught, get out and get some of these grapes. Taste them too, they're sweet. And you really get to see up close and firsthand what it's all like, what these grapes are all like down here in Puglia. Just like that, and they're good. The Puglia to-do list.